Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned, and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the men's room.
Hey, away we go. Welcome to show number 2743. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, Robin Fox, and my cock.
Montgomery!
And you are in the men's room. Yeah.
I know it seems ego-driven. It was a mistake.
On tap today, the random question is back. Your guess is as good as mine. Categories: murder and bartending. What you don't need to know goes to Walmart. Get ready to play Profile This. Plus headlines, the men's room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Click, clack, drinkity drunk.
All right, here we go. Lifetime Fitness throws everyone at the gym a bone and bans the watching of TV cable news. Coke in Japan contains a natural laxative, apparently, and they say the weight as you drink it, you will lose. Like that. Flight attendants now say angry passengers are creating big safety problems on planes. A soldier takes 10 flights. His wife back home is experiencing labor pains. And H&M picks the wrong model for their coolest monkey in the jungle hoodie. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, there are 2 states in the United States that require gas station attendants to pump the gas for you when you're at the gas station: New Jersey and the fine state of Oregon. Well, as of January 1st, the beginning of the new year, residents of Oregon, what's going on, KGON? Well, you now have to pump your own gas, and that's basically what most adults in this country do. Now, while I am sure that most Oregonians pulled up their big boy pants, there's a sizable percentage of those who just can't cope with the idea of actually acting like an adult. There's a whole host of reasons, but one that resonated with us was from a guy who found it, quote, and I'm not making this up, he finds it dangerous. The idea of, he's born and raised in Oregon, so he's never done different, but in his mind, the idea of pumping gas is dangerous. Now, people would also tell you that food full of phosphates and or booze are also dangerous. Then there's 96-year-old Betty White, who says that the secret to living a long life is hot dogs and vodka. And I'm willing to guess she might even pump her own gas. That's all right, though. Some people can handle certain things better than other people. It's just how it is. I mean, look, an American visitor to Thailand, he OD'd on Viagra. I did not know that you could OD on Viagra, but apparently you can. And if you had to guess what are the symptoms of a Viagra overdose, go ahead, take a guess. 5-hour erection, pass out. What
Sweating,
do you think?
lightheadedness.
All right, see, that's what I would think, right? Because it messes with your blood pressure. No, according to him, one of the things that happened when he, quote-unquote, OD'd on Viagra, he stripped naked and started throwing poop at random people.
Huh.
He says he OD'd on Viagra, he got naked and started throwing feces at people. Oddly enough, they don't bring this up in their potential side effects. But like I said, some people can handle certain things better than others. 96-year-old Betty White can handle hot dogs and vodka. People in 48 of the 50 states can handle pumping their own gas. Most people can handle Viagra. Anyway, these are some of the stories we saw that led to many questions in our mind, questions we would like to ask you in the form of the random question. Here's how it works. You call us, we'll ask you a question at complete random. And after you give your answer, we'll share with you the story that inspired said question.
Be part of the big show on a random question. Call 844-999-OLA. You can like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at mensroomlive.com. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Boggy Boone. All the Macholas and away we go. Welcome to show number 2,743. What an enlarged and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed to be a future repeat somewhere down the line there. Today for you, we have Your Guess is as Good as Mine. The categories today will be murder per capita in the United States. So the cities that have the highest murder rate, I will give you a clue and a hint right now. Chicago, Illinois is not on the list.
It's too big of a city.
It's too big of a city, and believe it or not, based on the
That's
population.
their only excuse. There's so many people that live there that in spite of the fact that 1,000 people are murdered, it doesn't play into it.
And then we go the other category, the world of bartending, with 10 things that will guarantee to piss your bartender off, 10 things your bartender hates.
Okay.
Absolutely cannot stand.
One of them is me.
There's a lot of things. They all make sense when you hear them. If you
Sure.
think about a lot of ways that you can piss off the bartender, these are the top 10 ways to do that. So that's what's coming up with Your Guess is as Good as Mine. And today on What You Don't Need to Know, we go back to the United States of America, and we go to each and every Walmart here in this great country, which is a ton of Walmarts. It's an incredible sample size. And what we have for you is the top-selling items in each state at Walmart. And trust me when I say they all vary drastically depending on geographic location. So that's all on the way. And today is the day we do our random question. Question 844-999-OLA.
Random.
Hello,
Random,
Jesse.
random,
Welcome
random,
to the men's room.
Random,
Hey, how's it going?
Hola.
What's happening there, Jesse?
What was that?
I said, what's happening there, buddy?
Oh, nothing much. Just driving, on my way to school.
Okay.
What are you studying in school?
Just general ed right now.
You're just taking general classes?
Yeah.
Well, so what does that mean? Does that mean like if you decide next year what you wanna major in, some of these get rid of those credits you'd have to take?
Yeah, it's like your prerequisites.
Okay.
What do you think? And what way do you lean? What do you think your skill set would be?
Oh, dude, I have no idea. I'm 19.
You're 19 years old. Okay,
Yeah.
You know what? I think this question is fitting because most of the time, whenever you get honored in life, it just seems like there's more honors available when you're in school. Like there's the student of the month. There's all these different things.
Okay, let me ask you this. Being that I was not particularly honored much, say, in my younger life, you're telling me that ship has sailed. Like, I have less chance now of being honored for anything I'm going to do.
I think so.
Because I've done school, but I didn't get honored for any goddamn
I know
thing.
for a fact that if you would have put your best foot forward, good chance you might have won a science fair.
Yeah, maybe.
Right, but you did. So, yes. You
I
missed
wasn't going to do that.
You can't enter a science fair now. You're too old.
Right, well,
You missed the window.
but now I respect science a great deal, and no
Right.
offense to the students, I would kick your bitch ass. Whatever your exploding volcano with that what vinegar and baking soda,
Right.
I'm going to
Ted
bring
did
real
one of those.
lava.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you were
The
class
problem-
president, which
but that
is
was in
huge.
high school. In grade school, though, I did a science experiment that was wrong and got second place.
Okay, now wait. Does grade school honors matter? I mean,
Yes.
No, they don't.
Ted was honored
they
as
don't.
homecoming king.
Yeah, but
He
that's
was
high school. That matters. That's a young adult figuring out
That's
the
what
world.
I'm saying.
As an
said
elementary
his grade
school
school
kid,
mattered.
no.
Well, or whatever the school years seem to be the times you're going to get honored. Look, it might just be that you were a little league champion. All right, you get a trophy for that. Like you
just get more opportunity as a
to
child.
have those.
All right,
yeah,
let me
to be
be
honored.
clear.
Like the three of us don't play in 3 sports teams every year.
if you were Little League champion, that matters. But I also know that if you play in Little League, you also have a trophy.
Yes, you do.
Now,
yes, you
it's
do.
a
Now
slightly
you
small-
do. That's right.
But you still got. Let me tell you how long that BS has been going on. My brother, he was in Boy Scouts years and years and years ago. I was maybe 5 or
Another
6.
chance to be honored when you're younger, where you can't be honored as an adult.
And he came. They had a bowling trip for all the Boy Scouts. Whatever. To my parents, it was 2.5 hours without him. Right. So he gets back home and he comes home with a trophy. And at that point, it's not like we went bowling with my parents a lot. So I remember my father, who is a very good bowler. My mother likes to think she is, Mom, you're horrible at bowling. Even if you're listening, you know it's true. So my father's always been a very good bowler. And so my brother comes home with this trophy, and my father's already excited. Like, holy cow. He got the trophy for throwing the most gutters.
All right.
And that's
an honor.
Is it?
Yes.
The Cleveland Browns got a parade in the city of Cleveland because they went 0-16.
Right. They were terrible. So
They're not being honored. That's just for the fans.
well, yes, but it's an honor. It's somewhat of an honor. Look, it's an honor.
I mean, it's the Gunner Trophy, right?
Yeah, but it's
like
an honor.
You did so. You know what? Maybe it's not an honor, but you're being recognized.
You are.
All right? You're being recognized for something that no one else could possibly
All right,
achieve.
so Jesse, let's just go with this one then. How have you been recognized?
Let's see.
Were you an honor society? Have you done anything?
Definitely the honors society. Oh, I was in honors band for the.
All right. Honors band.
What's
Sweet.
honors band
that means
versus
you're better
band?
It means you're better than the other people, like your first or second chair. Right?
Yeah, it was like a one-time thing, though. It was when I was in 7th grade, and they were just like, oh, you get to play this concert with other kids that got chosen from the other schools. District.
Yeah, that's what I'm
that
saying.
always struck me as other kids didn't feel like doing it.
No, what this
And
means
they try
is,
to
Jesse,
sell it to you.
you peaked in 7th grade. That's what
That
that
was
means,
it.
man. Like
Musically.
that was right. That was your moment in the sun.
Well, what instrument did you play?
I play the bass now, but I played the alto saxophone in the 7th
Okay,
grade.
now that says something. Because it's different. Like, if you played timpani drums, no offense to those of you who play timpani drums, but you know goddamn well it's an honor to do it. It's that you can't F up 2 notes.
Now, we've talked in here. We know all the awards that Ted's won. Steve, you won none. Robin, have you ever won an award? Well, you just haven't. You never
man.
applied yourself.
I have not won.
Never
anything.
applied yourself.
No, I did not.
Not in the world of trying to win an award.
No.
Right.
God.
So have you ever
No,
won
that's
any?
not true. Actually, and this is no lie. In 10th grade, I got second
You
place.
plagiarized it.
I was going to say
It
that.
was plagiarized.
If you let me finish, I got second place in a citywide history research paper. But there was a guy a year ahead of me, and I said, man, I'm not doing this ass. So he gave me what he had submitted the year before. The only difference is he wrote like crap because he's stupid. So I just wrote it in a way that I
Well,
don't
his
know.
theory was correct. He wasn't a good writer.
His theory was correct, but you write it for literate people. Suddenly that elevated me. So, yeah, the one thing I won, I didn't even put the effort in to do.
Well, you brought up the
I'm
Cleveland
sorry,
Brownies.
but it's true.
The reason we asked, and you can't think of anything, Robin. Nothing.
What? I played recreational basketball 1 year in the 5th grade, and we got first place in the whole county.
Sweet.
You're like,
okay.
what,
That's pretty
5'1"?
good.
So-
I'm 5'3". Thank you.
Did they have?
Put some respect on it.
Were you allowed to shoot from the actual free throw then, or were you up a little bit more into the halfway point? I can't remember how old you are when they make that switch.
I was point guard, so I kind of ran the show a little bit, but I
All
did
right.
score a couple times. I did score a couple times.
Cool.
Yeah.
In Robin's defense, I played 1 year of organized basketball and scored a basket.
I also won my parents a few of those bumper stickers that are like, my kid's a terrific kid.
Well,
which
that's
is
good.
Very questionable.
Yeah,
but,
I never have gotten one of those.
Yeah.
The reason we asked how were you honored, and you hit it on the head,
Wait a
Steve.
minute, as a student or for your own kids?
Either.
I haven't.
Either. Actually, my kid just got a 3.9 in college.
Really?
Yeah, very proud of her.
No, see, and here's your kid got a 3.9 in college, and that really, really matters. And my kids, where they go, if you have a day where you're exemplary, if you, for whatever reason, rose above everyone else, you get what they call a tiger paw, all right? Which basically means you didn't get in trouble, and aside from just not being a stupid little douchebag that day, basically you were better than the other kids that day. And anyone that has kids that age, it's hit and miss, dude. It's not consistent.
Am I the only one who thinks that a tiger paw should be a cookie, like a bear claw?
No,
at
but
Denny's?
here's the thing. I will get home from work, and it's like they've won a scratch-off lottery. I mean, like, hey, man, you need to go into the kitchen. You need to look on the kitchen counter, and there's this little tiger paw, and I am very proud, but in the end, at that age, here's the difference. At that age, it just means to me you've listened to something that I've said as far as how to interact with other people, right? That's all it really means. You didn't do anything exemplary. It means I listened to my parents this day, and I was not as big of a douchebag as the other goddamn kids I go to school with. Granted, the kids are between 5 and 7, so they're all douchebags all the time. They don't know better. But all you did, you were less of a douchebag than them, and you got the tiger paw. And I'm proud of them, but only because they're so excited. But I would rather get that 3.9 in college, man.
Yeah.
That's something.
Because you got to pay for college.
That's exactly freaking it.
The reason we asked, how were you honored? Cleveland Browns. I've never had a victory parade in Cleveland, and honestly, it's hard to imagine that ever happening.
For the Browns.
For the Browns.
For the Browns.
But on Saturday, thousands of Browns fans had a parade to honor the team's perfect 0-16 season. It wasn't a straight-up protest. It was an actual parade. They had makeshift floats and marchers with creative signs. The route went around the stadium in the shape of a giant zero. That's what they did. They did the route around the stadium in the shape of a zero. There was a van painted in Browns colors that said, quote, hell has to freeze over at some point, right? And another carried a, quote, participation trophy. The marchers held signs like $10 million for 20 catches. That was a nod to Kenny Britt, who they signed, who basically didn't do too much. Another said, quote, perfection in the wrong direction. And there was also a woman sitting on a vehicle wearing a sash that read 0-16. There were Detroit Lions fans there welcoming the Browns fans to the club because the Lions are the only ever team to go 0-16. So it's like joining the five-time club if you host SNL.
Yeah.
Police estimate that between 2,500 and 3,200 people showed up. And you say, well, that's not that big of a deal. Dude, it was 7 degrees plus a wind chill that had it pegged at -15.
Think about that.
Yes.
That many people showed up to recognize, not honor, but recognize a crappy home team in spite of the fact that the high temperature wasn't even 0.
Yep.
And those are the people you want to hang out with.
You know, they
People
are.
that show up to a 0-win season parade, like, they have beers.
The floats aren't going to be that great. Nothing's going to be that
No,
good.
it's just gonna be people like us, like, this is dumb. Let's
and you
get
take
drunk.
And you take a day off. That's exactly it. So the fan who organized the parade, Chris McNeil, set up a GoFundMe page to cover the expenses of the parade's fees, security, and all that. The leftover money, they earned enough, by the way, is being donated to the Greater Cleveland Food Bank.
Well, they donated to the payroll.
And organizers also collected non-perishable items at the parade. So basically, McNeil said they have at least 4 vans full of food to donate, along with more than $15,000.
You know what? That's good.
A few Brown players did take offense to the parade,
Why?
but LeBron James was amused. He said he got a kick out of it. The team, granted, he's got a couple championships. The team issued the statement on Saturday, we greatly appreciate the passion of all our fans, and we apologize to them for not making 2017 an enjoyable season. We certainly hear them and understand their frustration. Obviously, we want the same thing as our fans, winning results. We're committed to doing everything we can to improve the team.
No, you're not. You're
Blah, blah,
lying.
blah, 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 blah.
Listen.
They should have just said, man, awesome parade.
If you're the player, don't get upset. One, as fans, we're fans because they were fans before they became players, so you know how this goes. You found a way to not win a single game, and at some point, just as a goddamn man who has a paying job, at some point, honest to God, you show up and you do your job, right? Because any of the rest of us in any job we have would be fired from our job. If every time you showed up to work, you failed. Every single time you showed up to work, you failed, they'd fire you. Not only that, I suspect that most of the people we are talking to right now, not only do you not fail every day, which keep in mind, that's an act of sheer will. That's a decision that you make as an adult. I'm also guessing you don't get paid as much as the minimum paid player anywhere in the NFL. So when you fail every single day at your job, don't worry about what other people choose to do to recognize that, because that is on you.
You have college kids that are trying everything they can not to be your number 1 draft pick.
Think
They
about that.
don't want to go there.
I will go to school as a 5th-year senior, but here's the problem with that. You can't avoid it because, no offense to the Browns, you're going to suck again next year, and whoever you can be a 5th-year senior, guess who's going to draft you? It's going to be the Cleveland Browns again. Now, that said, a guy sent us an email, and I appreciate this. He goes, look, they've only won 1 game. That's the other thing to keep in mind. They didn't just go.
Right. Last year they won 1. Right.
They didn't just go 0-16 this season. They went 1-15 last season. So in 32 games, you won 1 game, which again, for everyone else in the real world, you've lost your job. So no offense, I don't really give an F what football players have to say about that. Can you imagine if you were put in the same condition? And you could say, well, what would you? We'd win. That's what we would do. We do our job. Someone pays you to do it. You go, goddamn, do it, right? And that's a discussion about men being men. That's a whole different thing. You can't handle it, then quit. But beyond that, the guy pointed out, not only have they won 1 game out of 32, when they won, the quarterback was Johnny Manziel.
And he's on a comeback trail.
And I emailed him back and said, that tells you how bad they
Johnny
are.
football.
Johnny football.
All he does is win.
Hello, Cheyenne. Welcome to the midroom. Hola.
What's that in there, Cheyenne?
What's up, guys?
How are you, sir?
Very good, very good. How are you guys?
Doing great, man.
Right on, right on.
All right. Cheyenne, what would you say is the one thing that you own that you truly love, that you couldn't do without? Now, obviously, if you have a pet, that's one thing. We're not counting that. We're not counting your girlfriend, your wife, any of that stuff. But what is the one thing that you own that you truly love? We used to have a kegerator in our office. Man, oh man, did we love that thing.
Well, I'm probably going to catch a lot of hell for this, and you guys were just talking about football, but I've got a couple of Jacksonville jerseys, and I'm like a huge fan, so I guess it would be the jerseys that I own.
No, listen. as a Ravens fan, I cannot stand Jacksonville right now, but credit where credit is due. Not that they played a great game this weekend, but whatever. They're moving on, right? The fact that you are a Jacksonville fan, because there are, and I'm not making this up. I have never met a Jacksonville Jaguars fan in my life.
I've been a Jacksonville Jaguar fan ever since they beat John Elway back in Denver years and years ago.
Hey, man, look, I believe you. I'm saying, look, I've met Browns fans, all right? There's Steelers, Raiders, and Patriots fans everywhere. There are Cowboys fans, Green Bay fans. I've met fans from every single team in the NFL except the Jacksonville Jaguars for whatever reason.
I've been to Jacksonville and not met Jags fans.
Right. I mean, like, they wouldn't sell out their games.
Sorry. Not only that, but I'm in South Dakota, so I'm not anywhere near Jacksonville.
Is it a Denver city, I'm guessing, in South Dakota?
It's either Denver or Minnesota usually.
Okay.
And so you've never been to a game? You never had the opportunity to see them even on the road or any of that?
No, because they hardly ever play either of those teams, and I really want to go, hoping to someday, but we'll see if I get to.
Yeah, well, I hope so. Apparently, as far as the redone stadium, it's if you are a fan and you want to go watch, it's a pretty good place to play. It's a pretty affordable town to watch football in, too.
Yeah, but no one goes.
Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like we always say, go to the Landon. Have some drinks.
Yeah, go to Hooters.
There's a great Hooters on the Landon.
There's a Hooters at the Landon.
I've been there.
You know what, man? Make it a point. No matter what you do, and I mean this honestly, like, no matter what you do, find a way, get the money, fly to Jacksonville. I know it's the playoffs now, but fly to Jacksonville, see your favorite team in their home stadium, and just soak it all in, because few things in life will bring you more pleasure.
Yeah, my family's bad about it, though. Like, I do it. Like, I cheer for an English football team club that I've never seen.
Yeah, but
hang
it's
on,
in England.
But then my cousin, he lives in Baltimore. He is the biggest diehard Niners fan you'll ever meet. He's never even been to California.
Never even been?
No. He just picked them when we were kids and kind of stuck with it.
But, like, man, do it. Because if you do it once in your life, you've done it. And because it's the one time you're surrounded by a bunch of like-minded people, no matter what. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on about anything else. In that moment that you support a sports team and go to that home place or arena or whatever it is, it's a great experience. Unless you're a Ravens fan, in which case you're just going to watch them lose.
I want to say that the owner of the Jaguars also gave a bunch of free tickets away to people who wanted to go to the game and weren't able to, which is a pretty cool thing. Bust people in, some Puerto Rican refugees, some other people to see the game, like a couple thousand tickets that he reserved just for that.
Yeah, it's tough. I
And
mean,
again, when you have 20,000 available seats.
yeah, the bulk of their fan base is in London.
21-year-old woman named Norel Hassan, who's a student at the University of Florida, Gainesville. What does she love? She's emotionally and sexually attracted to physical objects. She says, quotes, I've had feelings for monorails, iPods, and treadmills, but her first real crush was on a Garmin GPS she named Pierre. Unfortunately, she and the calculator fell out of love. So now she's moved on from Pierre, the Garmin GPS, and now she's moved on to Tetris, specifically an old Nintendo Tetris cartridge. I love him so much, and I get an immense sense of satisfaction with him. Random question, 844-999. Ola, more of your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bitches. You're listening to the Men's Room.
All right, coming up, what you don't need to know goes to the United States of Walmart and what each state buys more than any other. We'll do that right before we drink and toast with a shot of the day. In the meantime, it is our random question, 844-999-OLA.
Random.
Hello, Peter. Welcome to the Men's Room. Hola.
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 Hello, Peter.
Yes,
How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine here.
Oh, great.
All right, good.
Peter, let's go with this one. What did you learn or wait to learn later in life than most people? What did you try later on in life that most people have already experienced?
Wow, that's an interesting question. Later in life, stop worrying about the small stuff. You know?
Okay. So basically just a broad overview of life instead of one particular thing?
Yeah, like relax. Take it easy. We're all heading to the same place, and the slower you go, the more happy you're going to be.
Is that close to pick your battles?
I think it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the older you get, there's no doubt you get there. Now, the question is, was there any one thing that really made you think about it, or it's just you kind of observed your life and realized that 80% of it is crap that doesn't matter?
Well, I suppose there was probably one thing. I was rock climbing, and then suddenly I was rock falling, and then I hit the ground, and I broke everything. Broke my face and my hands and my arms and my everything.
How far did you fall?
slightly less than 40 feet. So I didn't hit terminal velocity, fortunately. 32 times 32 squared is terminal velocity. And fortunately, I was just under it, and I was able to survive that. But it took about a year and 2 months to put my face back together and my hands and everything.
You look better.
No, I think so.
Did it cure your Asperger's when you hit the ground?
Did I what?
Did it cure your Asperger's when your head smacked into the ground?
I didn't realize I had Asperger's at the thing, but looking back on it, I could have had that disease. Do I sound like that now?
Yeah.
No, not at all, Peter. Not at all. Absolutely.
So,
not.
in the year and a half it took to put your face back together, Humpty Dumpty, that when you're going through that time and the process and what's important at that point, that's when you had your big epiphany that most things are kind of
Yeah, I would think so, man. You lived,
Yeah, that was the important part, is that I made it, because about 5 years before that, my uncle was on the same rock face and he died. And
that's the one I would go to.
Were you doing it in his honor? I mean, were you doing that line to just kind of for him
kind of thing?
It's a family tradition. Well, Hank Williams Jr. wrote a song called "Family Tradition," and he fell off a 100-foot cliff.
Yeah, I heard that.
So I don't know if that's the right analogy, but yes.
How old are you now, man?
66.
66.
Okay. Yeah,
How old were you when you fell off the rock face?
I was 42, I think. Yeah.
All right. Okay. You're in pretty good condition to be rock climbing at that age.
I was actually. I was in pretty good condition.
What are you talking about? You just said you fell. Now, Miles, I'm just saying, right? I'm 48. I could go rock climbing, but I suspect, like our friend Peter here, I would also say that a rock fell.
Most of the time, if you're pretty good at climbing rocks, you have absolutely zero body fat on you. You're younger, you're lean, you're strong.
But he fell.
Right, exactly.
I mean, that's all I'm saying.
The Flying Lawinda
I'm not
guy
saying he's a gifted rock climber.
He was the great-grandfather.
Right, but it's right. How old was that dude? Because your grandmother
saw him fall, yeah.
What was that Walinda? So the Walindas still do it. Yeah, Niagara Falls, he did the Grand Canyon, but his grandfather, right?
It might have been Nick. I
He
can't
fell.
remember.
He was going skyscraper to skyscraper in Puerto Rico. Was it Puerto Rico?
Cuba?
But it was different than they had power. So you could see him between the two hotels, and he just fell just based on circumstance. It had nothing to do with the fact that he couldn't see.
What do you mean circumstance? He should have been doing it. How old was he?
He was a grandfather at the time. He was the oldest flying Walinda.
That's my point. You're like, hey, man, that's impressive that at your age you would try that. But like our friend Peter, who busted his face on the rocks, Mr. Walinda you said your grandmother said he bounced then splattered?
Yeah.
Oh, that was Carl.
Carl?
The reason,
I swear to God.
Carl Walinda.
Carl Walinda, okay.
Yeah.
The reason we asked, what did you wait later in life to try doing? As you know, Oregon has passed the law, and you can pump your own gas now, or is it an option?
Is it that you have to, or is it the option?
I think it's an option, and I think it depends on the area.
Yeah, I think Ted's right. I think they said, kind of like by county, they enforce, like, look, you now have the option, but in certain counties, they're like, get your ass out of the car and go act like an adult.
All right, so it says Oregon was one of 2 states besides New Jersey that required every gas station to be full service until its governor signed a law permitting people to get out of their car to refuel in half of the counties in the state. So to just give you an idea, here are some of the comments. They are 100% Oregon. I've lived in this state all my life, and I refuse to pump my own gas. This is a service only qualified people should perform. That sounds like Crowley down in
Qualified people.
I will literally park at the pump
gas.
and wait until someone pumps my gas. I've lived in this state all my life. I refuse to pump my own gas. Had to do it once in California while visiting my brother and almost died.
Almost died.
Many people are not capable of knowing how to pump their own gas, and the hazards of not doing it correctly could lead to death. I almost got stranded because I didn't know where the full tube was on the car on a road trip. I never thought to look behind the tank. Pumping gas is overrated.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.